Brixworth is in Northamptonshire, near Northampton and not far from Earl's Barton. One thing you can definitely say about this church is that it is very old, probably one of the oldest buildings in England. It is Anglo-Saxon, but when it was built is still a matter of discussion among the experts. Some of them say that particular parts of the building show innovations which were later copied elsewhere, and therefore must have been built earlier. Others say that these features were copied from those elsewhere places, and therefore must have been built later. I think it unlikely that Northamptonshire people were innovators, though they are pretty clever at designating dual carriageways as a 30-mile-an-hour limit zone, and then parking a white van on the grass verge from which to photograph your car. The inside of the church seems to have been renovated by 1990s barn conversion experts, and is very neat and tidy with white painted walls. It doesn't always look like this. There was a flower festival on when we were there. But each part of the outside of the building is of interest. Firstly, its very size. In 1086, when statistics for the Domesday Book were compiled, the village had about 30 inhabitants. The 12th century monk Hugh Candidus, who we met at Peterborough Cathedral, tells us that Brixworth was established as a daughter monastery of Peterborough Abbey, or Medeshamstede as it was then called. It seems to be agreed that along the north side of the building was a row of porch-shaped structures, which I think of as early designs for side chapels, each separately entered from the nave through these openings now blocked as seen. And these are those same openings seen from the inside. We can mention here just a few of the points of interest. Lots of these tile-shaped Roman bricks have been used, and there is a known site of a Roman villa near here. The building was apparently in ruins in the 10th century, destroyed by Danes, but it was restored to use by the end of that century, no doubt explaining a bit more of the hodgepodge nature of the materials assembled here. At one time, the entrance to the building was at the west end via a two-storey anteroom. This could explain why a doorway, now blocked, can be seen up here, which presumably gave admittance to an upper floor above this nave. At a later date, the entrance porch was built upwards to create the present tower. And incidentally, the circular attachment contains a stairway, as do many churches, but this is of an unusual early design. Again, at one time, the east end was in the form of a semicircular-ended apse with a crypt underneath. I understand that this got into a poor shape and was rebuilt in Victorian times, but was made more angular looking, as you can see. The crypt had around the outside of it a covered ambulatory which was not restored. You can perhaps imagine how this wall here curved overhead to form its roof. Pilgrims would come here and use the ambulatory to see the relic which was housed here. Apparently it was the larynx bone, whatever that is, of St. Boniface. Just behind the entrance door to the church, you have to partially close the door to look behind it, is this carving in stone of an eagle. I am told that this came from the ruins of the Roman villa nearby, from which the Roman bricks were recycled. There is so much to see here, so much to study and research. I think you could probably do a PhD on the subject.